everyone. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Membuat. Here I am, accompanied by my friend from the Cybersecurity Engineering program, Semester 2, and we will present our mini PBL project on distributed denial of service. In this project, we are divided into three sub-teams. The first sub-team is the infrastructure team, is responsible for designing the topology to be used for simulating the DDoS attacks and creating the text script. And the second sub-team is the application team, tasked with developing the DDoS application for various interface types and creating Python SSH script to send attack commands. Lastly, the documentation team is responsible for documenting the progress of application development, including recording each meeting conducted with the project manager. Related to our project title, let's discuss the difference between DOS and DDoS. So, DOS or denial of service and DDoS or distributed denial of service are attacks aimed at disrupting network or web service by flooding the target system with excessive network traffic. However, the difference between them is that those attacks originate from the single source, while those attacks are carried out from multiple sources. The source can be botnets created by attackers or several devices infected with malware. To simulate the DDoS attacks, we created a virtual network topology using the jenis application. Inside the topology, we deploy several botnets with Python scripts installed to carry out the malware attacks. Now, my colleague Ruben will continue with the discussion of attack types. Thank you.
Next, hello, let me introduce myself. My name is Ruben Bakara, and I will now explain the types of attacks we will implement in this project. Generally, there are three types of DDoS attack, namely volume-based attacks, protocol-based attack, and application layer attacks. Next, we have chosen one example from each attack type to implement using the Python programming language. Next, for the first attack type, volume-based attack, it targets the bandwidth consumption limit of the target server by sending larger size packets. This can reduce the server capacity to process and respond to data. For this attack type, we have selected UDP Flood as a representative type. Next, here is a snap of Python code for the UDP Flood attack. Next, and here is the evidence of attack obtained using packet sniffing from the router. The evidence shows that the attack is characterized by the repeat sending of larger size packets using the UDP protocol within a specific duration. Next, my colleague Fikri will explain the remaining two types of attacks.
Hello, I'm Fikri Azhar Samosir, and I will explain the second type of attack, which is protocol attack. In this project, we implement SYN Flood as an example of a protocol-based attack. In the figure below, you can see the normal communication of a three-way handshake. 1. The client sends a SYN packet to the server to initiate the connection. The server responds with a SYN or ACK packet to acknowledge the communication. And then client sends a ACK packet to acknowledge the receipt of packet from the server. However, in a SYN Flood attack, the attacker sends a large number of SYN packets to the server and immediately reset or terminate the connection forcibly without completing the handshake process. This is done repeatedly without ever establishing a connection, continuously flooding the server with SYN packet. Next, here is a piece of Python code for the SYN Flood attack. And here is the evidence of the attack obtained using a packet sniffing from the router. The evidence shows the attacker sent SYN packet to the server with the destination port active and immediately resets the connection forcibly, indicated by the RST or reset code. Next, the third type of attack is an application layer attack. In this project, we implement Slowloris attack as an example of an application layer attack. This attack works by sending incompletely and unfinished HTTP requests to the server, aiming to keep the port active open continuously. The impact of this attack is the depletion of server resource and potential server downtime. Here is a piece of Python code for the Slowloris attack. And here the evidence of attack obtained using packet sniffing from the router. The evidence show the root attacker continuously send retransmission to the port 80, keeping it up continuously. Here you can observe the effect on the web server before and after the DDoS attack. Next, my colleague Rido will explain the usage of the DDoS application interface.
Hello, let me introduce myself. I am Muhammad Idris Saputra Junaidi. Now I will explain the various types of interface used to launch DDoS attacks from different sources. Here we have built the types of interface such as web-based, CLI, and GUI. It's important to note that for each interface, there is a Python SSH program used to send commands to each botnet to execute the DDoS program that is embedded in their respective directories. For the CLI interface, it can be using a terminal. Once executed, we can choose between two attack methods to be DOS or DDoS. The difference between these two methods lies in the input for numbers of botnet to be used in the DDoS method. After that, we can select the type of attack, such as SYN Flood, UDP Flood, or Slowloris. Then we fill in the required inputs to the launch attack. Next, my colleague Giva will explain for the GUI and web-based interface.
Hello, my name is Gifar Alvin Faiz, and I'm here will explain to you for the web-based interface that we have developed. In the web-based interface, we provide two attack methods, and that is DOS and DDoS, which can be selected through the navigation bar by clicking the Try Service button. And if you choose the DOS method, you will be directed to a web page where three types of attacks can be selected by clicking the corresponding buttons. And for each attack, you will be prompted to enter the required inputs, and once they are filled, finally, you can click the Start Attack button to initiate the attack and the Stop Flooding button to stop the attack. However, if you choose the DDoS method, a GUI interface will appear. It provides two features that can be selected from the drop-down button. The first feature offers several types of attacks, such as SYN Flood, UDP Flood, and even Slowloris. You need to enter required inputs, including the number of botnets to be used. Lastly, there are two buttons available: the attack to start the attack and stop flooding to stop the attack. Another feature that, here what I mean is the add botnet feature to increase the number of botnets used for DDoS attack. And this feature works by entering several inputs such as IP address, username, and passwords of the botnet, and then by pressing the Add Botnet button to add into the list. We can add as much botnets as desired to the list before finally saving them into a TXT file. And afterwards, we can choose whether to launch an attack using the previously available botnets or utilize the botnets that is listed in the TXT file. Next, my colleague Fikri will explain the mitigation methods for DDoS attack.
Hello, I'm Fikri. In this slide, in addition to our presentation, I will explain the mitigation of DDoS attack using NGFV, which stands for the Next Generation Firewall. NGFV is evolved from the traditional firewall used to protect computer network from the threats that come from the internet. Here is the topology that we have modified. The router connected to the server and botnet is replaced with NGFV. We will upload a demo video on mitigation DDoS attack and provide further explanation about NGFV in the YouTube link below the description column. Next, my colleague Pascal will explain the next slide. Thank you.
Based on the logbook of our mini PBL team on the Siap PBL Polibatam website between March 17 and June 11th, several project implementation steps have been carried out The steps include creating Python DDoS script and making the network topologies using GNS3 by the infrastructure subteam, consisting of Fikri Azhar Samosir and Ruben William Bakara, creating the monthly annual report by the documentation subteam, consisting of M. Faiz Muazi and M. Derek Pascal. Finally, creating three types of interface such as website, GUI, and CLI, and also creating SSA botnet control script by the application subteam, consisting of Giver Alvin Faiz and M. Rido Saputra. We encountered some challenges during the mini PBL project, such as creating the SSR script to control and issue commands to its botnet for launching the attack and developing effective DDoS attack script. For the practical simulation or demonstration of using the DDoS application, you can refer to the following link in the description. That concludes our mini PBL presentation from the DDoS script 3 group focusing on distribute denial of service. We apologize for any mistakes. Thank you.